So, what's the first reason why Katagana is more confusing than hiragana? Well, these characters here. These little dashes are difficult to make out in standard text sometimes. So this means either an n sound or an m sound. Mm, 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 mm. And this means so. Now, it seems very similar, so you can get easily confused along the way if you're looking at these characters and you're only having a brief glance at it. It's very easy to get confused with that. The second reason why Katagana is more confusing than hiragana. This here means su, su, and that means su, 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 su. Now you pronounce that more strongly than that. Su is very short and fast. And if you look here, you will see that that means she. She. Yeah, you heard that right. She. So these two dots here are upright, if you'll notice. They point up towards the sky. And the she dots point to the side rather than up towards the sky. To the left. To the left-hand side. Rather than fully up to the sky upright. Now, you've got to have a very keen eye to be able to distinguish between those two if you're a beginner. If not, you can get easily confused at the start, thinking that su means su when it doesn't. Like you can get very, very, very quickly confused about that. So if you're looking at that and then you think, oh, that means she, because someone told me it means she, but then you're not paying attention to these two dots here and where they're pointing up, whether or not they're pointing up towards the sky, you've got issues with that because you might be learning something falsely. You know, you might create a bad habit from the very start by doing that. So that's the second reason why Katagana can be more confusing than hiragana. And there's no doubt probably a third reason why. And, oh yeah, that's right. The third reason why is because sometimes it's the pronunciation of it that's difficult to pull off. So the best example of pronunciation and where you can get confused is chi and ji. Chi and ji. So that means chi and that means ji. So ji is just chi with two little dots to the side of it. And that's to pronounce things like Genghis, as in Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan. But then in Western society, we say Chingus, but it's Genghis Khan. That's how the Japanese say Genghis. They say Genghis Khan. But we say Chinggis Khan because, I don't know why, but we do that because we don't really separate these two sounds together. We don't really, our minds doesn't register it like the Japanese or the Asians do. Don't ask me why, I just don't know. But it's just something that happens with practice of the pronunciation of these words. Eventually you get it and you can distinguish between those two subtleties. Okay, so that's the third reason why Katagana is a bit more confusing than hiragana. And then the fifth reason. Yep, there's a fourth reason, sorry. The fourth reason. So the fourth reason why Katagana is more confusing than hiragana. This symbol here means woo. But this without the line there means just question mark. So what? I don't know where that came from. I have no idea why they did that in their alphabet. No clue, but that's how it is. That's just how Katagana is. It's meant to be easier for foreigners to learn Katagana, but for some reason, it's just really confusing. And yeah, so that's the fourth reason why Katagana is more confusing than hiragana, personally for me. The fourth reason, so the fifth reason why Katagana can be more confusing. Because sometimes characters put in front of other characters get precedence. And there's an order of precedence to those words, and that can be confusing. So you might be trying to say diu, or T. So yeah, so that's E. So you follow that line there. That means E. So this symbol here means E, and that symbol there means te. Okay, hang on. I'm giving. I gotta correct that. That needs a little dot there. D. There we go. So that symbol there means te. If you had two dashes to the side, it means de. And then you have E in front of that, you forget, or you have to remove the e and replace it with an E. And sometimes if you're a beginner, you will think, oh, that means te, but it means t. Same with this. You think, oh, that means day, but it means di. So that's something to keep in mind as well. It's the pronunciation of it again, and the order of precedence that you find these characters in that defines everything. So that's the fifth reason. Yeah. Fifth reason why. So, yeah, I think that's everything. There's got to be more reasons why Katagana is more confusing, but those are the main ones. And it's been 6 minutes into this video already, so I better wrap up. So, yeah. This has been a brief explanation of why Katagana is sometimes more confusing than normal hiragana. So, yeah, I'm going to wrap it up now.